Wow. Okay. We are here as a panel. Hi, everyone. I would like to give a big round of applause, and I am going to clap for these amazing people that have presented the summit for us to this time round and shared their knowledge and their expertise with you all. And I want you to remind you to go and follow them, find them on socials, connect with them. You have got amazing learning and education to get from each and every one of our attendees. It's like housekeeping wrap up. Monday morning, you will receive an email from us as long as you've registered with all the details and the video replays of all the summits put into the newsletter. But I'm calling it now and saying I'm getting coffee and heading out of these four walls for the next little bit over the next little while. So for those of you who don't know, not everyone maybe, because we had new registrations even this morning, not everyone's going to know everyone here. So can we just do a quick round robin while those attendees throw their questions in that they would like to ask the panel? I've got some from the Facebook group, but please don't be shy. This is your chance to tap into, God, am I fair to say that we've most probably got close to 80 years of course creation experience between us all here? Combined and summed up, and most probably.
I mean, I got the gray hair to show it, so, you know. So
I'm about to say, that's all on Rob.
It's all Rob. Pop into chat what you want to know. Guys, can we do a quick round robin? Rob, it's over to you because you've shown us the grey hair now. Let's start with introduction with you.
You know, you got to lead with the age, right? All right. So, come on, man. Hey, how you doing? I'm Rob Galvin. I'm a Thinkific expert since around 2016, 2017 timeframe. I've been helping clients one-on-one. We also created this thing called superpowerups.com where you can kind of add these new superpowers to your Thinkific site. I'm glad to be here to kind of help you guys get along. So
I'm going to pop into chat, guys, places where you can find all these amazing people as we go through. Lucas, would you like to go next, please?
Sure. Lucas Marino, Marino Training. Just happy to be here. I do a lot of assisting coaches and consultants with course creation, and just excited to be here with everybody, especially with this panel. I mean, you guys are all awesome. So thanks for allowing me to hang out. It's an honor.
Awesome. Beck, would you like to go next? Because I've got your website up next.
Yeah, for sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Rebecca. I'm from Australia. I am a branding and Canva expert, and I help small business owners create consistently branded content using Canva, and you can find me at rebeccaflint.com.
Fantastic. Aaron, please.
Hey everyone, it's Aaron from Thinkific here. You can go to thinkific.com to learn more about Thinkific if you haven't heard of it before, but my job at Thinkific is essentially to help all of our customers succeed with online course creation and selling. My formal title is Senior Manager, Education, and Community here. So I create courses on training.thinkific.com, and I help run our awesome Facebook group of Thinkific course creators. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
He does a damn good job. Okay, I'm just grabbing, because we have a special promotional link which gets you some bonuses with Thinkific. So I'm going to grab that link in for you to find Aaron. And Tana, would you like to introduce yourself just to everyone who's maybe tuning in and didn't catch your session yesterday?
Yeah, for sure. Hi, everyone. My name's Tanner. I'm the CEO of Course Studio and of a product called Lobo, which Lynn and I shared with you folks yesterday. Been a Thinkific Yeah, thank you. Been a Thinkific expert for 2.5 years. Course Studio primarily helps creators make good businesses through strategy, design, development services, mostly like a technical team and a strategy team. And yeah, pumped to be in this group and to hopefully add some value to this session today.
Fantastic. Okay. The first question that we've got, and I'm waiting for the chat to come in from our other attendees that are there. The first question that we got, which I think is a good round robin, and we can all take one stab at it each. What did you wish that you knew when you created your first digital product? What was something you wish you knew at that point in time? Who wants to go first?
I'll jump in. I wish I had have known that you don't have to have a huge list. I think, you know, having a small, highly engaged list that really has gotten to know, like, and trust you is far more powerful than having a list of 10,000 people that frankly don't give a crap about you. So, just really looking after that niche little list is so super important, and you can drive a lot of value from that.
Fantastic. I think that's a great tip. And it delves into the viral thing. You know, viral's not great unless it's your target market.
Exactly.
Yeah, just to follow along with that, I think you know, a lot of people that I see wish that they would have known that done is better than perfect. You know, in
Yes.
this world,
Yeah.
right? A lot of people are just looking for the perfect course, the perfect sales funnel, the perfect everything, and they waste so much time in trying to get perfection. Where the value is kind of getting something out there quick, learning from your audience, rinse and repeating, and continuing to improve over time. And that's really the key that I see in success. So I think a lot of people wish, you know, in my case too, I kind of started off before being an expert. I tried to create my own thing, my own course, and it took me almost a year to kind of get something out there, which didn't go well at all. So yeah, and that's when I pivoted to helping Thinkific people. So anyway, yeah,
What were you
definitely
selling?
done is better than perfect. What's that?
What were you teaching?
I created this digital entrepreneur career fair. I was trying to teach teenagers that there's alternative careers instead of going to college and learning the traditional way. It's very challenging as a gray-haired person to, you know, kind of connect with that young audience that wants to hear from other young people. So quickly learn that.
It's an interesting one to learn.
Yeah.
See, Rob, that's why I dye the hair. Then no one
There you
sees
go.
the grey. I just bleach it all out. No one's got a choice of knowing what it is.
You just got to get rid of it, and then problem
That's
solved.
true. Yeah, you know, I should do that. I should definitely do that.
So that's a good one. Lucas, what was something you learned?
Oh
What
man.
wish you knew?
I wish I knew that the life cycle of designing and creating a course is far shorter than the life cycle of maintaining, marketing, and delivering a course. And I think as creative entrepreneurs, people fall in love with the creative process, and they're just like, I get to write a book, I get to create a course, I get to build a coaching program, I get to build all these things. And then it's time to use it and honor it and nurture it and do the same with all the people that are exposed to it. And that's a whole different game than the creation side. And so I think you have to be cognizant of that during the design and build side so that you can build something you want to nurture and love and have for years, and it'll give back to you. And that's really when your learners benefit the most, is when you have that kind of deep connection with them and with the product, and everything just jives. So that was a little eye-opening to me, because kind of like Rob, I was like, I'm going to get this thing out there, and I zipped this course out, and then I zipped another one out, another one, and I was like, all right, let's go. And then it was quiet.
I know.
And I realized I was just starting the marketing and the selling. And that was like, where do you go from here? This isn't what I do for a living. And that was an interesting maturation process.
I'm going to follow Lucas's one and then come back to the other boys, because it fits in nicely. Most probably my one in this is that an online training course does not convert straight into, a face-to-face training course does not convert straight into a course. So I thought that I was just going to pack all the value of my first 3-day workshop into it. It's there, it's clunky, it's big, it's massive, and no one bought it. But I have sold sections of that course time and time again for half the price of it. But I could not sell the whole thing together because I'd overwhelm my students. And that was a big lesson of not in the journey. Tana, what about you?
Yeah, it's a good question. The one that came to mind, and this is kind of maybe slightly piggybacking off Rob's comment. Like Core Studio, our agency is like really has a strong emphasis on like branding, design, and I think that's a really crucial thing. But increasing over time, what I realized is like some folks have extraordinary businesses on like black and white text, and just because they're really good storytellers and really good copywriters. And I think like it's pretty cheap to like pick an off-the-shelf theme, but really think about your audience, speaking to your audience, thinking about a landing page as if it's a story and telling the story about why someone should buy your course is something I think I wish I knew. I think I overemphasized design and like, you know, cool animations and dev and design work, when I think the core thing is just the messaging. So that's probably, if I was going to talk to myself 3 years ago, probably the message I'd share.
That's pretty cool. Guys, we're going to keep getting you to ask you questions while Aaron shares with us the one thing that he wished he learned or knew when he was
Yeah. I think my first course out there with Thinkific is probably still out there somewhere, and it's super cringe if you watch it. But it's a bit of a mix of all of this advice here. Like I that first course we spent too much on the production value. We didn't talk to any students really one-on-one before we did it. It was all assumption based. We weren't able to market it properly. We made every mistake in the book on that first one. It was a nightmare. Sage on stage, just spitting information, no storytelling, no relatability. It was a mess. So I think that all of that advice. But I think like one of the things that came to mind was that, you got to start completely unscalable. I think that like by talking to people one-on-one, getting into conversations, especially when you're first in your planning stages or you're just getting started, having those conversations is so invaluable. It's incredible the kinds of insights and the kind of language that people use to describe their pain points, to describe how they're feeling about their life and what kinds of things resonate with them. Who do they go to? What kind of medium do they turn to? Do they go to YouTube? Do they go to podcasts? All of these things happen when you just talk to people and just have a one-on-one conversation with someone, and that's so important. So if I went back 3 years, I'd just be like, hey, start talking to people now. Get on phone calls. Ask them what they think of this thing before you put it out there.
Beautiful. Fantastic.
Don't start with a course, start with a community instead. Like, it's definitely a great way to learn what course you should be developing. So 100% on that. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Keep asking your questions. We've got a couple more from the Facebook group coming through. Okay, this one's been asked, but I think I'm going to know the answer for every one of us sitting here. What's the best platform to teach your courses on?
Come on now.
Begins with a T.
Begins with a T.
Ends with ific.
Okay, I'm going to ask, how many different iterations of Thinkific have we heard throughout the years? And what's the funniest?
It's pretty challenging to spell. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard one yesterday.
Thinkific, Thinkerific.
Thinkerific.
Yeah.
I get that one often.
Yeah.
That's what I heard yesterday.
Well, tagline.
Well, so Aaron, what is the meaning behind the, like, I don't know if I really know the true story here. What is the meaning behind the name?
I got to tell you, when Greg and Matt first got started back in the day they started with their own course business, and they did follow the path that we just started talking about by starting completely unscalable. They were building people's websites from scratch they were building course players from scratch for people that asked them to do it, but they were mostly doing it because they taught online. They were teaching, what's the legal test?
The LSAT.
The LSAT, yeah. So they're teaching LSAT training, and people were like, "I want a website too." So they were like, "Sure, let's do it." And they just kind of like went on that entrepreneurial journey. So it was really like, I think it was really just a conversation between him and Matt and saying like, we need to brand this thing, and they just started like throwing words back and forth, and thinking and terrific, and it was at that time where you just came up with a nonsense word so that you could get the domain cheap and move on from there.
The domain was free. All right.
Full story PR angle for you there, Aaron. I've spoken to at least 3 different people teaching LSAT entry stuff inside Thinkific recently. So hence why I knew, because like the Australian handler, I know. But interesting full circle PR story.
Totally, yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. Okie dokie. Okay, the next one that we've got inside the group. This one was from Dot. What was the name of the moving video camera that I spoke about? It is a Pivo. I will pop it in the chat over here. Wrong link. I've been doing this too long. So Pivo connects to your smartphone and allows you to be able to record moving stuff with you. And I just bought one.
I think they use Thinkific as well, don't they, Aaron? Are they a customer, Pivo?
Are they a customer?
Good question.
At one point, I know we talked to them about using Thinkific. So yeah, Pivo is awesome. Their camera, really cool.
Okay, so while we're here, what other tech recommendations do we have and for people throughout their courses? Okay, let's do this another way. What's your base must-have? So the base level starting point, and what would be your top level if you budget was no issue must-have in a course creation journey? Lucas is nodding his head, so I'm going to start with him.
Well, base level, I'm not just saying this because Tanner's here, but Wobo is like non-negotiable for my courses. Like my courses will have Wobo in them, and all my clients, like I'm like twisting their arm, because for people to have to download PDFs and figure out if they can edit them and do all these things, to me, it's like, it's crazy talk. And I've had the same clients who filmed courses on their smartphones or using something like a simple webcam, like a Brio, or a $6,000 or $10,000 camera. In the end, they all still need to get to the point of application for the course to work. And that's the beauty of workbooks. And I just feel like if you don't integrate a workbook into your product, you're kind of missing out, not on every course, but on most courses. And so, yeah, I'm a big pitcher for Wobo as a must-have tech in my courses.
Absolutely. And so am I. And Tyler, just to let you know, I'm using Wobo for my in-person presentation next month, and we are not taking a screen. We are going to use Wobo the whole way through, with the instructional videos along the way that they can watch at their own pace. So just thought I'd let you know, it's another use case we came up with this morning at 3 a.m.
Awesome.
Well, and honestly, for the price, I'm not trying to beat the drum too hard, but like, come on, like almost nothing else I make courses with is that affordable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So while we're talking about Tonner and his absolutely amazing product, what's his base level? Oh, sorry, Lucas, we can get your top level. What's your top level?
Oh, my top level tech?
Yeah.
Oh man. You know what my top level tech would be? An actual videographer. With their camera mounted to their shoulder, and they're like, "What can I film for you today, sir?" And I'd just be rolling out the list of things that we're going to film.
A videographer today. Butler that follows you around.
Yeah, I think it would be a really nice lighting and camera setup, like a top-notch $20,000 camera setup would be slick.
That would be awesome. Tana, what about yourself? Let's throw over to you.
Yeah, it's a good question. A couple things came to mind. Like just for context, like we've supported through our agency Course Studio, we've supported folks who like do masterclass level quality. Like if you go to mtcopeland.com and look at some of their trailers, like it's a former ex-masterclass team, and like the cinematographic quality is just like extraordinary, and it's a really expensive production. Then we've worked with some folks might be familiar. Kat Norton, she's a brand called Miss Excel, and she just leveled up from her iPhone like a couple weeks ago because Microsoft paid for her to have a nicer camera. And and her business is extraordinary. So like honestly, my answer was like, if I was going to start a course today and I was thinking about the cheapest thing, I think folks have talked about community, I would really just like throw spaghetti at the wall making content on TikTok and YouTube Reels. I'd like try as hard as I can to just have an idea that sticks with somebody. And hopefully that content has like a thesis for how it could be monetized with course content, but that would be like my cheapest way. Like no like off the shelf theme, probably use super power-ups for like Rob's stuff. And that'd be like my most inexpensive like thing to do. And honestly, like I don't like, yeah, the videography and the cinematographic content is good, but I think if so long as the content is good and the ideas are good, I think you can do stuff super cheap. It's like one of the coolest parts about this industry. It's like you don't need a ton of dough. So I hope that's not a non-answer for the up market stuff, but
no, I like it. Yeah. I like it. Rob, let's start.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Great question. And I think it's like, use whatever you have, like literally use whatever you have. So the cost is zero. Like it's literally zero, whatever you have. Pretty much everybody has a phone, right? That has a camera. You heard about Miss Excel just up leveling from her iPhone. It's like, it's not about the tech. And I think like we get caught up as entrepreneurs wanting the perfection again, right? And actually, honestly, making excuses to yourself, like I can't do this until I have this thing. Or I learned this thing. I see so many people get caught up into, and I got caught up into this early on, taking course after course, buying all this stuff. Like I need something else. And you have everything you need. You literally have everything you need. This whole industry is a perspective game. Find somebody 2 steps behind you. You're not trying to take them from 1 to 10. You're trying to take them from 1 to 3, 1 to 4, right? So use whatever you have. Take out the phone, get personal, make it authentic. You are going to attract people regardless. And I love what Tanner said as well. Just get it out there on social, start organically, like literally just use whatever you have. The cost is zero, and on the high end, yeah, you can go crazy, but really it's like you have to get comfortable with a video, I feel, because you need to make that personal connection. Connection is so important, a lot more important than content sometimes. So you have to get comfortable with video. So yeah, of course, if you have a better kind of studio, it just makes it easier. Like if you have a studio set up where you just kind of boom, you turn on the lights. In my studio here, I just say, Alexa, turn on studio, poof, everything comes on.
Yeah.
So like make it easy for you to make content. It's going to allow you to just get out there more. So try to, eliminate all the complexity and just make it easy on yourself to produce content, get out in front of your audience and attract an audience.
Thanks, Rob. Clive thought he was smart enough having his smartphone to turn on his lights and that. Now he's going to want the whole voice integration stuff set up. That's going to be my job now. Thank you.
You're going to be able to tell AI to create videos for you. Like we have the image creation already, but soon there'll be video.
I want AI to create presentations from my script that I've written. That's what I want AI to be able to do for me.
Am I the only one who secretly was hoping that like all of Rob's background would just light up like a Christmas tree when he said that?
Yeah.
I didn't say turn off.
Rebecca, what about you? What was your
look, I'm all about starting scrappy. I have beautiful computers and screens because for me, graphics is really important and having that clarity because that's what I'm teaching and showing. However, at the end of the day, I'm using an iPhone, a tripod, I'm screen recording, and I'm, using ScreenFlow and iMovie to piece things together to create my content, and some of the stuff I can film in Canva itself. I can do recorded presentations in there for course material. So I'm all about just, get it out there. I've got a friend of mine who's a really high level business coach. And he said, Rebecca, you are doing the world a disservice by not getting your content out there. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Just get it out there, teach people, help people move forward, help people win their day, So you've got to do that in the best, cheapest, quickest way possible. And then when you have money coming in, sure, get the better camera or up level some of the stuff that you've got. But start scrappy, get your message out there, build your audience, be authentic, and also that's okay to get started like that as well. You don't have to have the $10,000 studio, $30,000 studio to get started. So just get started. That's the main thing.
You guys will notice in replay, I won't edit out the multiple times that I forgot to screen share properly while teaching live in the first session this morning. I will leave it there. And part of the reason I'll leave it there and it is because I need creators to understand that we all make mistakes when we go through that journey.
100%.
So that's 100% most probably the way that I would be sitting here doing it. I'm just going to throw to Aaron very shortly in a minute. My baseline technology for you guys is get a microphone. Everything else you can do, but get the mic. So get the baseline microphone. Rode sell them. I love a Rode lapel mic. It plugs into everything, including smartphones. Get yourself a lapel and work your way up from there. And I can tell you what, my top selling course is still recorded on my tablet from years ago.
Nice. There you go.
And I don't want to edit it because when I have to edit and add new content, it's going to look different. But I also need to do that. I also need to update it. So that's part of the process. Aaron.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing, Linda. So, I agree with everybody that tech sometimes is a stand-in or a band-aid for imposter syndrome. We don't think that we're worthwhile. We don't think that we're going to be actually helping someone. So we tend to say, oh, I can't do it because I don't have a really great camera, or I can't do it. That's easier to say than I can't do it because I'm scared that it's not going to be enough for me, or if it's not going to be enough for my students. So imposter syndrome is a tough one. So I think baseline, like I'll go with a different answer here. I think one of the things that's helped me the most is just finding a community of people to talk to. That's not tech in a way. I'm sort of cheating, but getting over that imposter syndrome and the mental blockers and sharing that with other people is going to do so much for you and your business. I think that this entire venture for people starting an online business, teaching online, is so much scarier than somebody starting a drop shipping business or something like that, because you're not selling a product, you're not selling a drop ship product, you're selling you're selling your value, you're selling your self-worth, right? So it has to be up there. So you have to find people to talk to. And then I'll jump back for tech for my high end. Thinkific got everybody on the same types of computers recently. We were all just bring your own device to work kind of thing. And I just got a tricked out MacBook, and it's changed my life. And I'm a full converted over, and it's been great. So if you have the money for it, I highly recommend it, just because waiting those extra couple seconds for everything, it just sucks.
Yeah,
Time is the most precious thing. Yep, for sure.
For sure.
absolutely.
Can I just add on quickly to that? I've just spent 2 years at Canva building our small business community there in their affiliates program. And community is by far one of the most important aspects of course building or any digital product. I 100% agree with what you're saying. You've got a team of people there who know, like, and trust you, that are happy to give feedback to you. And then if you want to test them out on a new product or a new service or something new, you've got a trusted group of people to go to. But it's something that I think people tend to miss. They they think, like you guys said before, you launch a course out into the world, you forget that you're actually selling to humans. So you've got this pool of people that not only can you get feedback from, but you can also then upsell, cross-sell, develop new products with. You've got an opportunity to develop ambassadors and affiliates and people who will go out and refer for you. So the community side of things is so important, so important.
Yes, 100%. I want to delve back into community for a second. There's one question for Aaron here, and that's how many customers do Thinkific have nowadays?
Oh.
Yeah. So, publicly, I can say that we have over 50,000, but because we're a public company, so all of our stats are on our public company website. You can check those out if you're interested. But we have over 30,000 people in the Facebook group now that are all Thinkific users. So that's been really exciting to work with that community and see people connect there.
It's been cool to watch that grow too.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So back in 2016, it was like, it was like a couple thousand people. We had done one live AMA with Greg in there to get people in. And that was pretty much it. And I was like, what are we going to do with this thing? It's really cool. And nobody had an answer because as a startup, there was 23 people and we were just running around trying to do stuff. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. And it's one of the best decisions I ever made because the interactions in that group have been incredible. There's always going to be negative feedback and flack and stuff like that. But that's good for you. That's good for your business. You want to get everything in so that you can get that straight from the customer's mouth into your strategy.
Okay, so that was the next component, because community led to me teaching. It also led to me finding Thinkific. Let's be really honest. That's where Patty came and hunted me down and said, will you consider doing these online courses again? And I'm like, no, I hate the technology that I had been delivered. And guys, bear that in mind. That's probably the big thing I can say. I tested 7 or 8 different versions of live tech. And when I spoke to you this morning about teaching live, we just didn't have the strongest internet connection. But then when I did find one that would work, we'd end up with connection fails on their end. So it became the situation of I was ready to give up with teaching online. Thank God I didn't, because I love doing it now. However, Patty came and said, hey, will you teach online? And Aaron was there at that stage and, try Thinkific and we'll give it a shot. So that was my process. But the community was also part of the reason I taught. Business is 33,500 members strong. We run a pretty tight ship.
Wow.
The Course Creator Circle itself is sitting at about 660 as of yesterday. The communities that we have are engaged. I was talking to Mary Smith a couple of weeks ago about BBB's engagement, saying that we have 78% Facebook group. She's got no way. I'm like, yes, but it's because we foster engagement. So before you promote, you've got to engage and you've got to do those sorts of things. So community-wise, and I know, Beck, you and I are fully 100% community about building a community around your brand. Your community isn't just to sell your course to. Your community is to propel you forward. So I think as we wrap it up, because we are hitting the 11:30 mark, so we've got just a few minutes left, let's wrap it up with our top community building tips. How does that sound?
Sure.
Beautiful. Who wants to start?
I'll start if everyone else is going to not kill me for it. If I had one thing I learned the hard way, it's that communities follow the leader. So if your community's not working, if it's defunct, if it's not active, if the right people aren't there, it's because, you as the community owner haven't done the right things to foster the community the right way. And I think that's a testament to what Thinkific has done with their community and what I've seen other people like you, Linda, do with your communities. And it makes me recall when I've failed doing that in other communities where I was like, this is great. And then you kind of get away from it for 2 days and you come back and you're like, wow, there's not a lot going on here. And I look at the other people around me that run these fantastic communities, and it's because they're engaged. The leaders are engaged. The key people that are there are active, and they're encouraging each other. And you're making sure that the right people are in the group and that the wrong people aren't.
Yes.
And so I think that's the big thing, is like, you just have to really lead. You have to step out there, and you have to take this as a serious thing.
Sure, but you can also use communities in a different way than the traditional, hey, the community's always there all the time, right? So I did a presentation, I think not too long ago, on one of Thinkific sessions about using community as a funnel, right? It's a perfect funnel workshop where it's a pop-up community that's tied to some week-long workshop or a few-day workshop. So it's not this forever thing, but it's a way for you to get people into your world, engage with them, all the things. It turns it into an experience, not just information. Like, it is so valuable. So think of using it in different ways than just kind of traditional, here's the community, join, and you're going to be there forever and it's never going to close. It's definitely a great way to add to your funnel, get people in. You can do this on launches, on individual products. Like, it could just be short-lived, and even though it gets archived, right, at the end of it, it still turns into a sales funnel because people are able to read it and look at it and look at all the things that are going on and realize, like, wow, you're great, So yeah, awesome model. Just don't think of it as a traditional community all the time. So you can have it in so many different ways.
Rob, this isn't you telling us you're shutting your community down, is it?
What's that?
This isn't you telling me you're going to shut the community down, is it?
No, so the community's there to support, but you're launching a course, launch a pop-up community. You launch it like Christine Rose Photography. This is the model I shared in the last thing that we did. Oh my God, it was so awesome. I went through this in the summer. She does it twice a year, teaching people how to take Milky Way photography. So it's really nice because it's time-based. Everybody joins. She does it twice a year, and people are joining again and again and again. So it's like, it's a great model. It's a great model to follow. So I highly recommend it.
Beautiful. The other tip that I want to point on to why Rob's in that component is you're sitting with 3 Thinkific experts and a Thinkific leader here, 4 of us that actually all give our time teaching what we know inside those communities. And I know Rebecca did the same when she was in Canva, and would still do the same as a Canva ambassador, is about using, from a funnel point of view, teach what you know, they'll follow you anyway. You don't have to sell through that component. So teach what you know along those ways. Rebecca, you've done a rather large community for the last 2 years.
Yeah, my top tip for community is sort of along the lines of what you're saying. It doesn't have to just be that Facebook group. Like, we took time to get to know members one by one. So having one-on-one conversations, getting feedback from them. How can we improve this community? What would you love to see be built into Canva? What's your real feedback? It fosters a really deep connection. It really helps build brand love as well. But also, if you can, take your community offline. Like, if you've got any opportunities to meet your people in person, that is, oh my gosh, like earlier this year, where are we, 2023? Like late last year, we had this huge event called Canva Create, and we had about 20 people fly in and meet us and come and tour the Canva office and go to this huge event. And those people are so tight now. They will be in love with Canva for forever. They love all of us as, I've just left Canva, but as, Canva employees, ex-employee, but the love they have for that brand and the connection they have for that brand is huge now. So if you can get your people in person, especially after COVID, it will just foster the most amazing, deep connections and lifetime love for your brand. So yeah.
Hey, Aaron, when can I run Thinkific meetups again?
When can I come?
Yeah, whenever you want to do it, absolutely. I think that kind of ended because of COVID, right?
It did. We stopped. We had to cancel them because of COVID, but we need to get some Australian meetups happening again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Whatever
you need, stickers, workbooks. Anything.
I love it. It's publicly out there on YouTube now. I can now follow you. Funnily enough, I found the leftover pens from the last lot we were running here the other day.
Oh, we got lots of pens. I'll send you.
I know. Lead time to get me some swag. That would be great. Okay, so we are going to do that. You heard that from Aaron and I. We're going to go offline again and run some meetups and those sorts of things. Okay, Aaron, have we asked you your top tip about building community?
Yeah, I can definitely jump in there. So as you know, Thinkific launched a communities feature not too long ago, and we've been slowly kind of building more features into it as customer demand increases. It's been an interesting journey to see how people have been using those communities in their businesses. Some people choose to use them as kind of a value add to their program. Some people choose to use them as the program. So it's been really interesting to see the evolution of how people are doing it. But a while back ago, I read this book. It's called Building Brand Communities. I don't know if you can see with the blur there. Carrie Melissa Jones and Charles Vogel. This is a great book if you want to learn how to run a community. I highly recommend it. But one of the cool things that I learned from it was, and I think this exists out of this book, by the way, but there's a rule called the 99-1 rule, where 90% of a community, and these are just guidelines, not actual numbers, but 90% of a community typically doesn't really do much in the community. They'll lurk, they'll read, they might do a comment every once in a while, but for the most part, nobody really does anything in that group. The 9% will start engaging with the content that's created, and then the 1% left over is responsible for most of the content in the community. So if you're starting a community, or if you have a community already, my big tip for you is keep that inner circle of community leaders as close to you as possible. Don't forget about them. Treat them like royalty in your community, because they make your community. They're responsible for that, all of those people having a great time there. So you want to make sure that they are treated like absolute royalty in your community.
Tana, what about you? Got a community tip for us?
I don't think I have anything that insightful to say. I thought Rob's tip was really fascinating. I've been thinking about that. Like one thing I would say is, like, there is something like kind of infinite about like standing up a community, like having to continue to add value to that without there being like a critical mass of users is like that is scary. So I like that notion of like creating some scarcity around it. This thing's going to be up on a Monday, down on a Friday, and then trying to like obviously fill that week with value. Like that's compelling to me. I do like the one thing I also that is thinking about it like a funnel, like for a lot of our customers with social audiences or email audiences, trying to get them into an owned community. You have their email address, you have a place to connect with them that you own effectively. We're big fans at Core Studio of translating audience that's on a third party, like a social network, into an owned community. So I wish I had something more insightful to say. That's kind of the counsel we provide a lot of our customers is like, think of it like a funnel, like whether it's free or discounted, use that as a place to upsell folks into other products. It's
a perfect answer. Okay, I'm going to leave you with one final community tip, because this is one after coming up to 9 years of running BBB, which will be the 14th of February. God. Set your guidelines and make sure they're clearly communicated to the community. And the final tip is not a God-given right to be in a Facebook group. And if someone's mean and trolly, they're going to be mean and trolly forever.
Yeah.
And yes, I spend my Sundays receiving private messages when I take someone out because I drank too much Sunday night. Actually,
you can always learn that.
I knew about Facebook groups when I started that damn thing was Friday and Saturday nights are the busiest time you've got to admin, because and watch for long weekends.
Yeah, I agree. There was one member in our Canva group that, without fail, at about 8:30 on a Friday, I would get this barrage of email messages, and I'm like, oh wow.
That's amazing to me.
When I started.
Yeah. Maybe it's just Australians.
Is it an Australia thing?
Yeah. I don't know. I've had some interactions with one today that's not an Australian, and I would.
That's true. That's true.
I would say that, you've offered support and no one wants to take it. Well, that's fine. So it just depends where
Yeah.
you are, I think. But yeah, I know particularly for us, that's one of our things. Charles is asking, is it an Australian thing? Look, I don't know. I think it comes down to, we were very particular about setting our guidelines really, really quickly. And part of the reason we started BBB in particular was I'd seen enough of business owners getting abused in this journey, which is, you're translating from having an employee, where you've got support and people around you to work out, and all of those sorts of things, to then having a place where there was no abuse. So, we are very clearly, you don't run down a small business owner for making a decision in their business. We are supportive. We're all of those sorts of things. And we run under the grandma motto, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. You can have a discussion, but you can be nice about it. So that has always been our motto. And God, we're still standing here 9 years later. That's a pretty big achievement, I think, is most probably in our world. So we've done pretty well. We've got to I'm gonna have to think of something for 10. We're gonna have to play. And that's the other thing about community. Do something for your communities. This community engages with us because we do stuff for them regularly. And that's why they love us. Okay, I would like to thank all of the amazing panel that we have had here presenting with us, sharing their knowledge, sharing their expertise. I would like to thank you all for coming through. I have put in a handy links in the situation. I know some people have been here in ridiculous hours to 2 a.m. for the last 2 days. So I would like to thank them for being here on their time zone for that long as well. And I would like to say that if you need to find us, you can find us all on social media. Please do connect. And if you're not already a member of the Course Creators Circle Facebook group, head on over there. We talk all things course creation, and you can watch the behind the scenes moments as the final stages of the guide come together. So that'll be a bit of fun. Thank you all so much for joining us. I appreciate your work, and we will see you all next time.
Bye.
Thanks for having us.